Peace, brothers. You spoke about some very touching points that I felt, that I wanted to expound on as well. Peace, guys.
Peace.
One of the things that God touched on was the way we came up as fathers and as young teenagers. Most of us in here came in them times because that was the time when the babies were, it was mandatory for us to get out here in the streets and teach these children. Now I understand over a course of period of time, a lot of us has grown and attained different responsibilities where we don't really have the time to be out there, our personal selves, but through generations, which is the generations behind us, our children, they should be in a way that they follow the lead of how these teachers go, right? Because that's what can keep the teachers alive. We got the birth of, in New York City, the Bloods and the Crips. And when I think about it, my old dad and his brothers was a part of that type of the nature of how Young was coming up through gangbanging. So it's like always the times where history repeats itself. And God said one thing, I know we used to be in the streets together like 5+ deep, and probably even deeper than that. And we probably would be dealing with certain aspects like drinking out in the open, smoking weed or whatever. You had police come and try to address one of us about that. Even though it wasn't right, with the strength of it, the power of it was that we was together. So when they came and tried to address an individual when they got to a point where they was trying to take them away from us, we never allowed that. Because we let them know if we're going to take him, he's taking all of us. Right? And the police actually backed off. You understand? So another thing that God said that these people got plans and whatever, yeah, of course they got plans. And we shouldn't be a part of it. Why? Because we should have our own plans and we need to be all in, inclusive, a part of that. And what's our own plans? Growth and development on every level. Right? On every level. We just went through a war, COVID, an invisible war. I call it a psychological war.
Yes, sir.
Right? And we were prepared for that war. And what I mean by that, if you was able to internalize the lessons that was given to you in your younger years of coming up, for me, the COVID was dealing with the 28th degree. And I'm the black seed. So I definitely, it wasn't no fear, it wasn't no thought, it wasn't no nothing. It was just the fact that I knew that was not going to happen. Why? Because we already was prepared for that. All right? Now, what that entails is, did you internalize the information, the lessons, and everything that was given to you? Meaning, did you know, when we don't see you, like, we're amongst each other. No, we don't eat pork, we don't do this, we don't do that. But what about when you're by yourself? You know what I'm saying? So this is where the fear kicks in. Because, it's just like going to get an AIDS test. And you out here walking, living in a certain way, but you're not protecting yourself. You understand? So you would be a candidate not to want to get that AIDS test. But you don't even know if that might be your situation. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm pretty much, expounding on my brother Prince that was up here and things that he had mentioned. Also, he had mentioned about the school and them redeveloping the school. That's the order of where we're at right now. Right after the COVID. And that's a beautiful state to be in because we got generations behind us that we need to secure a foundation for. And carrying on in the name of the law, world manifest. So as Father sinners, you understand, the Father always told us in one word, teach. I always said, if I could say in one word to cure or bring about the wellness of the human families of the planet Earth, what would that one word be, right? And Allah told, when I think about it, it's teach. Because if you know, right, then you flow. And anywhere you go, you teach about who you are. Because there's one or two things that can happen. People can't teach us about who they are because we already know that. We already know who the original man is and who the color man is. And those are the two people that exist on the planet Earth. Now, I know you got human families, you got different seeds and things of that nature, but the reality is still only break down to two people. So you not one, you the other. And if you don't know that, then you just confused. All right, dog? So, in light of with the building process and redeveloping, which is one of the reasons why I got up and spoke, because I'm a part of that, right? And we all a part of that. It shouldn't be no thing where none of us is not a part of that. This is the building that we need to be, when we come together now on. You know, how we, what are our expertise, even if you don't have none, you know, just keep coming and we'll create that for ourselves. That's how we grow to the point where we're at individually right now, if you've been a part of this since you came into the knowledge. So it's just great, it's a challenge. Nobody said it won't be easy being God, but being God is very easy when you're being God. You understand what I'm saying? And reflecting that light upon these black women and these children. So that's what makes us complete as a nation. We're a nation. So when you look at the word nation, we're supposed to have all the assets that a nation is supposed to have in order to thrive more as a nation. And that's something that needs to be looked at as being a part of the 5%. You know, a lot of individuals more stuck on who I am as an individual opposed to who we are as a nation. So what are the attributes of a nation? That's the question. What's the attributes of a nation, and how does a nation function? Us as a North American people, original people, urban people, everybody else has like Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Arabs, everybody else has a land. The universe is everything, sun, moon, and stars. So that's all of ours, right? And that's what Allah came with to give us, to let us know that, you understand, together we are the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, the fathers of civilization, and the gods of the universe. So these are the principles that we have to connect ourselves to in order to keep that thrive of energy. Because what happens is a lot of brothers lose incentives to want to, brothers will tell you, I've heard people say, oh, I don't do that no more. You know, I'm here now with it. So a nation is based on traditions, principles, and things of that nature, right? And in order for that nation to take off the way that it needs to stay within that parameter of the principles, the traditions, and everything that the nation does in order for it to be the nation it is. You can't go every other year, a few years. I'm not saying growth is not necessary. Growth is very necessary. But you can't change the foundation of what built the nation to what it is now. unless you have it where we all are inclusive and we all agree that we need to rebuild our house, right? So you gotta rebuild yourself to be able to be prepared to build that house. Because building that house takes skills. You understand? So the thing with who we are, we don't get tired of learning. Learning is an ongoing process. You're never too old to learn something new. And this is what happened with people in general. You understand? People feel like, oh, they won't give me a job, so I'm gonna go rob. Right? And I say that to say, change is a must in order for you to see success. If the things that you have been doing hasn't compelled you to see success, then that means you gotta change. You understand? So that's what it is for us right now, especially after seeing so many of our comrades, our brothers and our sisters leaving here. And the ones that are still here is highly favored and truly blessed, right? And not on those spookism, because the reality is we are who we are. And the way that this world, to be honest with you, has been moving in the direction that it's been moving in is to stop us from existing. And we can't allow that to happen. So, you know, the purpose of my bill, in light of knowledge and wisdom, you understand, God, is that love hella right entails loving. See, I was born in the teachings, right, God? And throughout the years of my growth of growing up, I had my father with me for a period of time. Then I had lost my father, right? I didn't know nothing. I was wisdom years old. I didn't know nothing about no pain. I'm still a young dog. You understand? But experiencing that experience caused me a lot of pain. And my old dad, when he left, I was the oldest. So I had, in my immediate household, 2 brothers and 2 sisters and myself. It was 5 of us, right? That I knew that I had to step up at that young, tender age to be responsible to keep my family going in the direction that I needed to. But my old dad was no longer here. Now, granted, he had brothers and things in that situation that were around, which I had to go to because the old earth moved away from that. My old earth moved the distance from away from the gods. But when I got old enough, I knew my direction back to the gods, right? So that I could be right here today, right, in the name of Allah, carrying on his legacy. Right, God? And that's what's going on, God, right now. You know what I mean? Us carrying on these teachings and making sure they wound up in the children's hand. Because the children, what the God was speaking about is real. The children are going through it. But they're going through it with the resources that they got. You understand what I'm saying? And they're getting caught up because no relief came. You know? And this is the purpose of the old being held responsible for the young. The civilized being held responsible for the uncivilized. Right, God? And, you know, it took me a lot of years to internalize being rooted the way that, you know, I'm rooting myself today. And I'm still growing. The knowledge is infinite. You know what I'm saying? You could never, even though we say we're the gods, you know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of us individually, we don't know everything. So being God is being able to be open-minded enough to where you want to learn some things so you can get better with yourself. In turn, being able to get better, you know, to bring that teaching to your family. Right, God? And the Father was about that. The Father said the truth. He wanted us to know the truth. He didn't teach us to be against anything. But it was the truth. It was something that we needed individually to bear mind to in order to, have that truth and carry that on and teach that. That's what this is about. So, God, we're in a real fragile state. And mostly because of the state of mind that we exist in as a whole, as a nation. We gotta get more stronger. We gotta get more involved with, like how the Queens bring the food and everybody plays their part on some level or another. You understand? We have to get more nation. Look that word up for those who, I'm not trying to tell those, especially people my age or older, I'm not trying to, but a lot of things we have to go back to in order to understand, the beginnings, right? The beginnings is the Father brought us together to be a nation, right? So now, what is a nation? What is a nation? Anybody can answer that.
A group, a large group. I just looked it up.
Right. So, right, that's what we got to zero in on. So we can't be at odds with each other about miscellaneous things. Because there's a bigger picture. You understand? And in order to make a law, word not in vain, we gotta manifest what he gave us. We gotta keep it moving with that. Because these devils is banking on, they brought something invisible to us. Why? Because they know that we don't bear witness to no spooky shit. Right? We as God, we don't bear witness to that. The 85%, they bear witness to that because there ain't no relief came. I'm gonna go back over it again. You understand? And when the relief comes, then they're not going to bear witness to that either. Right? There's a topic that I wanted to build on, but it's very, very touchy. So I don't even think it's the time for me to build on that right now. See, all the years I've been here, I've gotten up here several times, but getting up here and being talking or whatever, it's never been my thing, right? But what's my thing? What's my thing is where we're at as a nation. And I'm looking around and I see a lot of us here. That's beautiful. I see the names here. We need a whole lot more than always in whatever we're doing when we're congregating as a nation, right? And we just need to really hold each other accountable. We gotta hold each other accountable. Because that's what's gonna keep our nation in the shape that we need our nation to stay in, God. It's just so much, it's so much. It's beautiful to see brothers here that I actually grew up with. I got history with each and every one of y'all I'm looking at, and we still here doing the damn thing, so that's really great. That's beautiful. You understand, God? It's about the hope right now.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we gotta take a real hope shot that we're gonna, rebuild here. We're gonna rebuild, we're gonna, redevelop, better like the words, redevelop our homes and our boroughs. Because the Lord knows that's what's needed. Right. You understand? So if we could support that, why not? This is what supported us all our lives. To be the great brothers and sisters that we are, right or wrong?
Right.
Right, God. And so that's what this is about, God. This ain't about getting up here, talking all cheap, and the shit don't apply to nothing. You know what I'm saying? This is about some real hands-on so that we can see residuals. We can see evidence. We can see results. That's what this is about. I was stuck for a whole lot of years. On my own, you know what I mean? I chose to be stuck. You know what I'm saying? So being stuck is a choice. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we try to come out of as a nation. So now when I'm dealing with that, it's like we as a nation. So how do we get unstuck? Let's drop all the animosity, let's drop all the whatever, and let's get to what we need to get to each other so we can get through what these devils is putting out here with us right now, trying to stagnate our flow. You understand? We done lost enough brothers and sisters. Allah proved that you can't kill Allah. Allah will not die. You understand, y'all? So we are the flame, and we gotta keep this thing going, y'all. Peace. Peace.
Peace. For those who don't know me, I be Allah.
Peace.
Gave mathematics and knowledge wisdom, and that born understanding. So we know that knowledge is the cause, wisdom is the effect, and understanding is the result. So we're always trying to bring about a result, and a positive result at that, because it's about building. It's nation. It always been nation time, but more so than ever right now, it's definitely about building, not just talking. You know, just sounding good. You know, spewing a lot of words. You know, sounding all fancy. It ain't about that. Because without something of substance to demonstrate the power of your wisdom, it's just talk. You know, we say, because we've been saying that, I've been here since 79 is when I got to knowledge of self. You know, and I remember a time coming up where we had schools in every borough in New York City. Every borough, we was definitely progressively filled it. Because the love was there. But once you start to lose the love, we start to separate into groups and things like that. Then you see the building become stagnant. We become stagnant. As a group of people, we know there's a lot of obstacles that came in terms of drugs and all that. But those who stand fast and went through the love, hell, or right. And that's today's degree in the alphabet. Love, hell,